Hello everybody, welcome to Trapani in Sicily. We are here today going to take a look at the new NVIDIA driver 565.90. Also going to talk about the NVIDIA beta app. They had a recent update, and we'll take a look at some cool scenery. We're here in Trapani on the island of Sicily. There's this is an awesome freeware airport that I found on flightsim.to. And we're also going to fly over to one of the bespoke Asobo airports from the Italy update in Palermo, which should be really interesting. Just figured I'd do something a little bit different today with the driver check. So take a look and see how the driver performs and see what kind of interesting scenery we can look at here in the sim. Getting near dusk here in Sicily, so let's get right to it. Rotating beacon on, external power supply on. Let's go master and battery switches on. We'll go fuel pumps on. We will open the fuel valves, turn the mags all on, and take a look outside, make sure the props are clear, make sure there's nobody out there to kill or maim, and there is not. There's a good start on the right engine. And bring the throttles up just a little bit. Forgive me, I have a little bit of a scratchy throat today. Oil pressures are good. Turn the fuel pumps off. Fuel pressures are good. We'll need the mixtures for taxi. Avionics master coming on. Nav and strobe lights coming on. Turn the transponder on. Clean that out a little bit. We'll turn the external power supply off. Alright, let's turn lights on just a tiny little bit because it is getting dark out here. So toes are on the brakes. We're going to release the parking brakes. So this is, like I said, a freeware airport that I found on flightsim.to, and it's just amazing. Really pretty cool. It's actually, I believe, a military base, and little bit of a GA, GA and commercial use as well, but mostly military. And all that over there on the other side is all military stuff. But I mean, look at the ground markings and such. I'll put a link in the description to which airport this is and where you can find it. It's really pretty neat. Set the altimeter. We'll take off. We'll do a little bit of a flight here around Sicily and just take a look at driver performance. So one of the cool things there's nothing Microsoft Flight Simulator specific to the driver, so I'd expect very similar performance, but the one thing that is pretty cool is that the NVIDIA app now has automatic driver rollback. So if you update the driver with the NVIDIA app and you don't like what you get, you can just roll it back. So just gonna back taxi a little bit here. The wind is not in our favor, so we're gonna put landing light on while we're on the runway. Always want to make sure you are on the center line when you're taxiing on a runway. I hear people often say you want to be off to the side in case somebody lands on the runway when you're on it and there's less of a chance of you getting hit. But really what you want is the best chance of you being seen. So if you're ever taxiing on a runway, turn on every light you've got and taxi right down center line. That is that's the trick. All right, so I'm gonna put the flaps to take off here, and we'll spin this around. We'll go fuel pumps on, mixtures and props full forward. Never been to this area of the world, never flown in this area of the world, and the sim should be interesting. All right, so mixtures and props full forward, fuel pumps are on, flaps are set. Close that real quick, and takeoff power is coming in. Takeoff power is set. A little bit of left rudder here. We got some crosswind, which you can't really deal with in Microsoft Flight Simulator because the ground physics are terrible. And off we go. Look at this. Like I said, freeware airport, pretty remarkable. Let's get back inside here. We'll bring the power back to 25. We'll bring the props back to 25. Let's do a little right turn out here. I want to check out these. First thing I want to do is put the flaps up. I want to check out the see right over there, a couple of islands right off the coast here. I'd like to have a look at that. I love flying at dusk in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It is just beautiful. There's 1,000 feet. We'll turn our fuel pumps off. Check our fuel pressures. Fuel pressures are looking good. That is beautiful right there. It's remarkable how good this scenery is. All right, up here along the coast, I guess. Shouldn't be that long of a flight. So far, driver is very smooth, and so I wanted to pick a route today with a freeware, like a relatively complex freeware scenery and an Asobo scenery, so that we could kind of get an idea of what if any impact these sceneries have on sim performance. And this is all this right off the nose here. That's all military use for this airport. There's 2,000. We'll climb up to 3,000. Hopefully we get to Palermo before it gets dark. Rather beautiful part of the world, I would have to say. I was gonna start this flight about 2.5 hours ago, and hopefully was aiming to get it up for you guys by today, but that was not in the cards. So wasn't in the cards today, but that's all right. So Sicily, very interesting. So what I'm getting right now, this is one of the biggest performance hits in the sim, are these light type clouds. These are the ones that really hit your sim performance, and you saw that right there. I don't know if you'll see it in the playback, but it was definitely a little jittery in the sim, and I don't think that's, see these like light misty type clouds, they're really take a big hit on performance. I never quite understood why, but they always have. 50 feet below our cruise altitude, we'll bring the power back, bring the props back, pitch the nose over, and we will spend the next 10 minutes trimming. I think I like that little valley right in front of us. Given the fact that I don't know the area, I don't know kind of what the best course of action is here in terms of getting to where we're going. But I do know this is beautiful, I'll tell you that. And yeah, so the automatic driver rollback in the new beta version of the app, I'm gonna do a separate video on that and talk about that. But those of you who have made it this far have gotten the preview. Let's see here. This is a pretty part of the world. And what runways do we have over here in Palermo? We've got runway 2 and runway 07. Currently the weather is 230 at 17 knots. So I do believe we're not going to be using either of those two runways. We're going to be using runway, there's a little bit of a pause right there. I'm going to be using runway 20 or 25. We'll use 25. We'll make a left downwind for 25 once we get up there. I think maybe 3,500 feet is going to be a little bit advantageous here, so I'll just let the altitude creep up here. But yeah, so for any of you who've noticed that my output has slowed down, that is for sure. I have see a little runway there about my 11 o'clock. I'm curious to see runway lights. I'm kind of curious to see what that is. But yeah, my output has slowed here a little bit over the last really month and a bit, maybe 5 weeks. I was on vacation for 2 weeks, got married, and came home to a sick dog and a sick father. So, and actually I think that's gonna be our airport right there that you can see off there in the distance. Clean the mixtures here just a little bit. So it looks like Palermo is right on kind of the end of that peninsula right there, the airport. And we gotta put in a little bit of rudder trim here. You can see when the ball's sticking out on the side there, you gotta put in a little bit of rudder trim. So it looks like we are getting some fairly typical mixtures are set. Some fairly typical gorgeous sunsets here in Palermo that we get basically anywhere we go in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and this is just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So what I did with this driver, and we're definitely not, I was thinking about doing a left downwind. We're definitely not going to be doing a left downwind for Runway 25. That is faux show. But what was I gonna say? I forget. Oh yeah, so when I did the driver update this time, I did the DDU uninstall process and the cleared all my caches, so this is a pretty look at this. I did some flying yesterday. Bring a little bit of power out, just start a gentle descent here. Did about an hour and a half of flying yesterday to rebuild the caches. Gosh, that is beautiful. Wow. Look at this. One thing you don't want to do, by the way, is spend a whole lot of time in the departure area of kind of in like, so we're going to be landing in the opposite direction that we're going. We're going to be landing on runway 25, which is this way. So I'll put actually swing my Jim Bridgman, this one's for you. I'm setting my heading indicator on my runway heading. So we'll be swinging around and landing in the opposite direction, but what that means is any aircraft that are departing right now are departing right towards us, and this is not the place that you want to spend much time when you're flying, because especially if you're flying something like this, you can become a hood ornament for a Boeing and Airbus, something like that, which is not what we want to do. Turn those lights up there just a little bit. Wow. So I am anticipating that this is going to be a pretty cool landing here. Alright. So we had a little bit of kind of hesitation through when we were going through those misty clouds back there, but to me that's not anything that has to do with the driver. That's just very typical of the sim. Had one little, we were going through the mountains there, had one little kind of hesitation is more like more like what we would, you know, kind of a typical sim pause, right? That we would attribute to the sim itself. But I mean, it's funny because when I first loaded this driver yesterday, took a while for it to smooth out after I cleared all the caches, which is not, it's weird. Sometimes you clear out all the caches and it's no big deal. Sometimes you clear out the caches and it takes a while for the driver to kind of settle in. I'll be curious to see how it performs here with the Palermo airport. This is an Asobo airport. I don't know who did it for them. But it's the kind of thing where I want to know what the performance is on a more challenging type airport, and this is definitely going to be it. Bring the nose up here a little bit to pull some power up. Bring the nose up. That's going to help you slow down. That is how you slow an airplane. Power out, nose up. Any combination of the two. There's 115 knots. We'll go flaps. 1. Neat. This is a pretty cool looking airport. I mean, we could take that runway right there. But, whoa. But I think I'd rather, take the big runway, take a little bit more of a, longer approach in here. Palermo looks pretty cool, no? Look at those, look at those clouds. Alright. Go mixtures full forward. Let's go fuel pumps on. Alright. Bring the nose up here a little bit. Bring some power in. And we can start a lazy turn in here on base. Lazy because no hurry, I don't mind rounding it out a little bit. So looking for about 500 feet when we roll out on final. And once we get that 25 right there on the hash mark on the side, that's when we know we're on a perfect right base. Alright. Now we'll start taking this seriously here. Bring some power out. Hold that nose back just a little bit. Get us back into that white arc. We'll go full flaps. Little bit of trim. Looking for 80 knots. Blue lights are taxiways, folks. Don't want to land on one of those. Don't want to land on one of those. Can if you have to. But if you do it by mistake, you look kind of silly. Mixtures and props full forward. Fuel pumps are on. Flaps are set. Yeah, if you do it by mistake, you look kind of silly. So right about 500 feet where we roll out. Let's A little bit low. We got 4 red. So what do you do when you have 4 red? You don't arrest your descent. You level off. Level off. Add some power until you start getting white lights again. We've got. There's 1. How about this for a view? You can feel that left crosswind. Yeah, you definitely feel that left crosswind. Still holding the nose up, waiting for that second white light. There we go. Now bring some power out. And at this airspeed, we'll take a nice, probably a 400-foot descent rate will be good. Definitely that left crosswind. A little bit of power out, a little bit of nose down because speed's decaying. Energy management, ladies and gentlemen, energy management. That's what it's all about. A little bit of power out, a little bit of nose down. Definitely a bit of a left crosswind. My instructor would be yelling at me to stay on centerline. We got a little bit of a headwind too because we're back to that. Well, now we're 4 red. Which is no good, but I know there's nothing to hit, so. Alright. Power out here a little bit. Alright, power out. Power is all the way out. Right rudder, a little bit of left aileron. Not my finest. Not my finest. But it was fun. Boy, is this a beautiful part of the world. Alright, so we got still a bit to go here before we get to the turn off. You can see the green lights up there, which tell us where we got to go. Alright. Taxiing at 40 knots when you've got your flaps all the way down. You get going much faster than that, you can go flying again. You gotta be careful. So lean the mixtures for taxi. That's the only thing you ever do on a runway. Don't put your flaps up. Don't turn your fuel pumps off. Lean your mixtures. That's the only thing you want to do on a runway after you've landed. And the reason why is the number of people who have gone to put their flap. I mean, the flaps in this airplane. I mean, well, first of all, there's no. It's a gears down and welded, as they say, not a retract. But if you're flying a retractable airplane, you can very easily go to put the flaps up and put your gear up instead. It's happened many times. Let's go over and check out the main terminal. So what you want to do, wait until you get clear the runway. When you clear the runway when all of your airplane is past this double yellow line. Then once you're clear the runway, then you can go and turn your fuel pumps off. Come to a stop, turn your fuel pumps off, put your flaps up, and then you can resume your taxi. So not only has this been a gorgeous night flight, even better, would have been even better if I turned my landing lights on. Driver performance has been good. And we get to check out a really cool airport. So this is Palermo Airport in Sicily. Let's go this way. And Yeah, performance has been good. Like I said, I flew it yesterday. I did a stream yesterday. We flew for about an hour and a half, and it performed wonderfully. I don't remember any stutters yesterday. Aeroporto Internazionale di Palermo. Cool. This is now going to be a Boeing 737 destination. I can tell you that right now. Definitely gonna fly the PMDG over here. How cool is this? The other thing is that I did that trick with my, come over here, we'll park over here. I did the liveries size reduction program there. What is it called? Did a video on it a couple weeks ago. And I think that was pretty helpful in terms, because you can see the aircraft here at the airport. So there's toes on the brakes. Let's go parking brake. Mixtures to idle cutoff. Throttles are idle. Turn our lights off. We can go, let's see. Two pumps are off. Avionics master comes off before the mags come off. Come on. And master and battery switches off, and I have that silly light. I don't like that light. Oh, there. That's how you turn it off. So look at this. Look at this. Oh, the AI texture optimizer. That's what the program is called. The AI texture optimizer. Did a video on that a while ago. And I tell you what, this is a gorgeous part of the world. Look at this. So, short story on the new 565.90 driver. Looks good to me. Didn't expect much change with over the last version. I'm sort of expecting a new DLSS version here pretty soon, given kind of the number jump that we've seen from 560. I think it was 561 point something to 565.9. So I do believe we're going to be getting a DLSS update here sometime soon. It's been a couple months. The app beta being updated as well. They kind of like to update all these things together. So in any event, beautiful flight tonight here in Sicily. Driver looks good. I'm doing good. I hope you guys are doing good. And we will talk next time.